Hi guys, this is the What If League, and today I am starting a new challenge. I have taken charge at Derby County, as you can probably see on the screen. This is going to be a regular game, a regular save, which I'm going to play through time. I hope that I will be able to post and stream every week or maybe every other day. We'll see how it goes. So wish me luck. Today, as usual, with new games, I am going to assess my squad and decide if I need any urgent transfers, who I need to sell, and basically prepare for the upcoming season. So, first of all, as usual, I need to read my news, so bear with me on that. Attend the meeting with the board, of course. So this is Mel Morris, the president. The usual greetings. I love to learn more about Derby County, although I think I know quite a lot about them. The club has no philosophies, so I think I would suggest a few of those. I would hold a press conference to meet the journalists. And what's that? On a final note, okay, thank you guys. Thank you. I would love to see a summary. And okay, the assistant coach, Kevin Summerfield, we'll have to assess his stats as well. Maybe I'm not going to keep him at all, but we'll see how this goes. Yes, I would also love to meet my coaching staff. So, Kevin, what can you help me with? Agent offers, indeed. I'm not interested in any of the agent offers. Please get them out of my face. Friendlies, I want you to just arrange them, and I will take control. Yeah, that's it. Opposition instructions, no. I would like to do that. Press conferences, no. Then reserve a new teams. Then yeah, let's put him, or we already have guys. So we have Pat Lyons and Rory Delap. Rory Delap is training the under 18s. I didn't know that. Okay, so I'll have a look at that later. The pep talks I'm going to take care of, and the training. So the training for now I'm going to leave for him, and in the future I may get in charge of that too. But for now I want Kevin to do the training. Let's do the training for the senior team only. I want the other coaches to take care of their own teams. Okay? This concludes this meeting. Thank you very much. Next in line, transfer update. Let's see, we have a lot of people on loan. We have one person that's in Derby right now, Sam Winnell. Let's have a look. Sam Winnell, 26 years old, striker from Sheffield Wednesday. Okay, let's see, what did he do in the last few seasons? With Sheffield Wednesday, he was not very prolific. With Barnsley, he scored a bit more, but they were at a lower league, so it doesn't really matter. On the other hand, I have, how many are those? Four, five, and I have 11 people out on loan at other teams. I need to evaluate those. Maybe some of them I want back, or at least I need to monitor them to get them back as soon as possible. Something that I forgot to mention, I have started the game at the 15th of January, so we are already mid-season, and Derby is second in the championship, which is very, very good for me and very convenient, although I did not take charge of them because of their league position. Instead, I just like the history of the team, and they're not the best placed team for promotion, to be honest. I think Wolverhampton is obviously the big favorite with their big stars, and they have a quite appropriate club owner. So let's see here. We have injuries with Curtis Davis, recurring injuries. So he has nagging problems with his injuries, but he's a very good player at 32, unfortunately. So soon I'm going to have to say goodbye to him. I'm afraid. But for now, I think we'll find very good use of Curtis. He was bought recently for 500,000 from Hull. David Nugent as well, a groin strain. He has six occurrences of this particular injury. So David Nugent, 32, another striker. I guess that's why we have a striker on loan, because ours are not really reliable. Then for the recruitment, okay, we see that everything, all the responsibilities are properly set. Background of the team. I am not going to bore you with that. I will read this in my own time. I'm not going to spend any time in this video for that. Strengths of the team. Have the best recent away record. Okay, so let's focus on the weaknesses. Luck quality at right back, at left back. We don't have a lot of players with good first touch. And of course, we can improve the coaching team and the scouting team, which is not really a surprise for a championship team, I'm afraid. Introduction advice summary. So let's see. We have good youth facility. This is something that I already know. Suitable penalty takers. David Nugent. Okay, so let him take the penalty. Joel Ledley. Let me just check Joel Ledley. So he used to play for Swansea, if I'm not mistaken. No, Crystal Palace, of course. Yeah, Crystal Palace. So he's a very reliable midfielder. Although, if I remember correctly, he has a bit of a disciplinary problem and he gets quite a lot of cards. Let's just see. We don't have that information for the past season, so I guess we just have to wait and see. But I'll put him in the penalty list, in the penalty takers list as well. Darren Bent, a legendary journeyman striker. Let me see how many teams did he change during his career. Ipswich, Charlton, Tottenham, Sunderland, Aston Villa, Fulham, Brighton, and Derby County. So this is 7. Quite impressive from Darren Bent, who at one point was an English international and was considered very hot property in the Premier League. But anyway, then we have the direct free kick takers. Tom Huddlestone, so he came back to Derby. Oops, sorry. So we need to first create the tactics. We'll get to that as well. Let's see. Coaching stuff, advice, settings. I'm not going to touch that at the moment. So first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to assess my squad, of course. And what I like to do when I do that usually is I like to include also the youngsters so that I can see indeed who can be relied upon and who needs to be dropped or sold. So first, let me just take this here. Let me just check. So we have reports. Okay, reports for the team, and I'm going to order them by position. That way we know what makes sense, of course. Let's see. In the first team, we have, let's see, we have here Scott Carson, who is the first team goalkeeper, so he is good. I think I would not need any changes, at least for the first season in the goalkeeper section. Scott Carson, I'm pretty content with. Jonathan Mitchell, I'm not familiar with Jonathan Mitchell. He's not bad. He's not bad at all. We have an advice for tutoring. Let's do that. So Scott Carson will tutor Jonathan Mitchell. This is interesting. I usually like to be assertive in those kind of interactions with the players. So I check assertive and then let him tutor Jonathan. Yeah, you're also going to hear my assertive voice, Jonathan. So that's it. I work with Scott. That went fine. Okay, thank you. Moving on. We have not bad young keepers, but nobody really stands out in the crowd. I'm not really going to rely on those goalkeepers from the under 23 and under 18 teams. Now, if you remember, the game already recommended that I'm lacking a bit of right and left fullbacks. So let's see what's the situation. We have 3 fullbacks. Andre Wisdom is here. So Andre Wisdom is probably the first team choice. And I imagine that the problem is we don't really have anybody to replace him. On top of that, he's very poor at crossing, so this is a big problem. He's poor at crossing. His acceleration is fine, but he's not really agile, which means that he's probably turned quite easily by players with higher technique. He has pace, so he's able to come back and recover, but that's not really what you want from your defenders, is it? Then let's see, Andre Wisdom. We also have Chris Baird. So Chris Baird, I'm very familiar with. I've played quite a lot with Chris Baird in the past. I'm not sure whether it's in Southampton or Fulham. I don't remember exactly, but Chris Baird has been in several of the teams that I have managed in the past. Kieron Stabana, English player. I'm not familiar with that name at all, and I see that he is not good at all. So he's in my under 23s. Not going to be promoted right now, at least. I'm not going to rely on Kieron. I'm sorry about that, man. So that's fine. But you know what? What I prefer doing is actually I want to eliminate guys who are not going to be in the team. So First of all, I'm going to select everybody, right? And I'm going to move them to the senior squad, okay? And then I'm just going to remove them one by one. All right. So let's see. Josh Barnes. So Josh Barnes is not going to be part of my first team. No way. So let me quickly put him into the under 23. Scott Carson, Jonathan Mitchell, as we have already agreed, those are going to be my first team keepers. Henrik Ravas is also going to the under 23s, and then we have Mark Yates, Geoffroy Sanfrench, and Kelly Roos. I'm not sure who that guy is. Kelly Roos. He's wanted by Burton for a transfer. Let me just have a quick look here. I don't really expect him to become much better than he already is. So I am going to wait for Burton's offer. Hopefully it is going to come soon. Whatever fee I manage to get for him is going to be very welcome. Kieran Stabana, we already agreed he's not going to cut it at the senior squad, so he's back at the under 23s. We are left with two right fullbacks, which definitely means that I probably need to find another one. And if I'm not mistaken, both Chris Baird and Andre Wisdom can cover in the central defender position. So they're also capable of playing as center backs too. Then we have here quite a lot of center backs, so this is going to be interesting assessment. Let me make it even easier here. So I always prefer to see as few things as possible when I assess my squad so that I can really make a proper judgment. As this is going to be one job where I need to qualify for the Premiership from the first time asking, I actually am expecting that the board is going to expect from me to qualify for the Premier League. I see that at the moment I'm 10 points behind Wolves. Not really surprising, Wolves are flying high, and I have loaded this game with real results from this season, 2017-18, and up until the 15th of January. I will leave the link in the description if you guys want to play with real fixtures and results as well. As you can see here, my main competitors will be Cardiff, Villa, and Bristol City. They are the closest placed teams, and I really need to be careful not to slip and give them the opportunity to bypass us. In my next game on the 20th of January is going to be against Bristol, so we already start with a derby. We are 5 points above them, so if they win, they're going to make this difference only 2 points, and I may be opening the second position for Cardiff to pounce. So let's try and not do that. Going back to the list here, so Tom Huddlestone definitely stays. He's not going to play as a central defender, but he can cover. Okay, that's good to know. Curtis Davies, we already agreed, he's a top defender, and I'm going to use him. Then we see here Andre Wisdom, he can cover, but he's not a center back in any sense. Alex Pearce, I'm not familiar with Alex Pearce. Let me quickly have a look. 29, Irish. Okay, not very expensive, and his contract is expiring next year. Heading 14. All right, not bad. He's quite slow, so he's a position where I might want to upgrade in the near future, since I prefer my center backs to be agile and quick as well. His pace, agility, and acceleration stats are average at best. But other than that, I think he could be a reliable center back, especially against poor opposition. So Alex Pierce is okay. Richard Keogh, 31. Why is that name so familiar? I'm not sure. Looking at his career, I'm not sure where I have played Richard Keogh in the past, but that's fine. He's 31. Maybe somebody that I can sell if possible. We'll try that. Jason Shackle at 34. So is he planning to become send on a coaching course? Yeah, I guess he's planning to become. Let me just see. To become a coach. Seriously thinking about doing some coaching. Okay, that's nice. His attributes unfortunately don't allow me at this moment to see if he's going to be a good coach or not. But I'm going to try and send him on a coaching course. So Jason Shackle, at first, let me just check if actually there is any point in doing that. So his contract is up next year. His value is very low. I'm not really going to be able to sell him even if I wanted to. So let's try and send him on a coaching course. This might be beneficial for the club in the long term. The board approves. That's wonderful. Great. I'm also sure that Jason is going to appreciate it too. Chris Barrett we already covered. So Chris Barrett is somebody who can cover this position, but he's going to be my sub right fullback after Andre Wisdom. Jamie Hansen. Jamie Hansen as a segundo volante. So segundo volante is his best position. So center back is not really his forte. And as you can see, he has very poor heading stats. I'm not sure how tall he is. Let me just see. 191. That's not too bad. And guys, I use centimeters and pounds, weekly wages, just to make sure that everybody is aware of the different metric systems that I have enabled in the game and you don't get confused. Then let me just quickly go back here. He's not really good at heading. Marking and tackling are also quite average, so I'm probably not going to use him as a center back in any regular situations. Then we have Sven Karic. Sven Karic. I'm not too convinced about that guy. He needs tutoring. Curtis Davis could be a good tutor for him, but I don't really see the point. He doesn't have any ability in him and any potential to become something more than what he currently is. So I actually may try to sell him at some point. I'm afraid that I'm not a fan of this player, so I'll put him in the under 23s. Lee Buchanan, so he's very young, not really a lot of potential there. Let's go. We see here we have a lot of players with very poor ability. I'm not really gonna comment on them. Those three I'm directly going to put in the under 18s. Okay, Callum McDonald. This is one of our guys at loan at Barrow. He's very, very poor. Okay, so he's not going to cut it at my team. As soon as he comes back, he's probably either going back on loan or he's going to be sold entirely. Then we have here, this is the person with the top potential from the central defenders, Joe Bateman. Joe Bateman, and his heading is absolutely terrible. Let me see how tall he is, 183. Not reliable, I'm afraid. So Joe Bateman, you're going to the under 23s, and I'm afraid that you're not going to find a lot of playing time under my charge. These two guys are going to the under 18s, and these two are also going to the under 23s. Okay, so this is it. I'm left with how many are those? 4, 8, out of which, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So only 4 are natural, and their best position is at central defense. That's fine. I think we can deal with that. And now let's see what happens with the left fullback. So in the left fullback section, we have 5 guys. And now I'm going to start from the bottom. Michi Mbuti. Michel Mbuti, I'm afraid you're going to the under 18s. You're way too young and not really able to perform. Jordan Mills as well. Style intelligent. That's wonderful, but ability-wise, not really what I'm looking for. And we are left with only 3 guys, one of whom is on loan at Shrewsbury. This is very unfortunate because I could have used this guy. He is not the best. I agree. He's not really the best left fullback that I have seen, but he has potential, and potential is what I'm looking for in these guys. Let me try if I can recall. Nope, I'm not able to recall him, so we'll have to wait until the summer. Let's see the contract. So his contract is until the end of June. This is normal. Nothing too striking there. Marcus Olson and Craig Forsyth are going to be my my left fullbacks for the moment, unless I decide to buy a new one, of course, which I think I might do because these guys are even worse than the right side of defense. So now defensive midfielders. Let's see what happens at defensive midfielders. George Thorne, Tom Huddleston, Chris Baird, and Jamie Hansen. So Jamie Hansen, who is also an option for the fullback positions. So he's going to be my utility player, it appears. Not bad to have such a player in your squad. Nobody to demote here. Let's go now to central midfield and see what happens there. This is much more interesting. So George Thorne, let me try it another way. So Brandon Hitchman, very low potential. immediately going to the under 18s. Jason Knight, again, this is higher potential and he's 16, but not really worth paying any attention and trying to develop him from the get-go. Jack Haywood, same thing, moving to the under 18s. Henry Wise, again, not really impressed with him. Although Henry Wise, he's on a youth contract still. His contract is ending very soon. His potential is not that bad. Let me see what are the suggestions here. It's better suited for the under 23s. Yeah, I agree. Joel Ledley would be a good role model. No, I don't want to spend any time tutoring him. And Henry Wise, I am going to send to the under 23s. Okay. Then who do we have here? Max Bird, advanced playmaker who is creative. He's only 17. His stats are appalling. I hope that he develops, but I'm not really sure about that. So we'll move him to the under 23s as well. Great. And Joe Ledley to tutor him. Let's try that. Yeah, let's try with some tutoring from Joe Ledley. As a senior member, I think it would be beneficial. Yeah, assertive again. I'll invite him. Another assertive. And there he is. He agrees, and actually his morale has went up a bit. That's good. Jordan Brown moving to the under 18s. And now we have three guys that are on loan. Craig Bryson, 31, playing at Cardiff at the moment. I could have used this guy here. Let me see if I can recall. No, I can't. So let me put him in the under 23s. I don't want to see him. He's just going to be a role that I can't really use, so what's the point? Jacob Butterfield at 27 on loan at the Owls. Okay, so this guy, he has good mental stats, but his physical condition and physical stats are not really impressive. And at central midfield, I prefer to have players that have strength, definitely strength. So I'm not sure if I'm going to rely on Jacob even when he comes back. Callum Guy, okay, I'm not even going to look at him. He doesn't have enough ability for me to be interested in. And now let's see Callum Minkley. Callum Minkley apparently is one of our brightest talents. He doesn't have a lot at the moment, so I'm going to move him at the under 18s. And Tom Lawrence could be a good tutor for him. Okay, that's fine. Let's okay, let's mentor him. Tom, please do that. I will invite him. And then Callum, how do you feel about that? I can improve my game. Yeah, of course you can. You're very young. Okay, now we have finished this piece. Jamie Hansen, Tom Huddlestone, Bradley Johnson. So let's see, Bradley Johnson has good physics, and I think I'm going to play Bradley and Tom Huddlestone quite often together. Tom Lawrence also, he's a good player, but maybe for a more advanced position, not really in the center of the field, maybe as a number 10. Or maybe he could be a roaming playmaker. I see that his strength is quite low, and I don't really wanna risk playing with weak midfield, especially in the championship, which is a very, very demanding and physical league. I think Tom Lawrence is not going to be a good option. Joe Ledley, on the other hand, has very good physical attributes, and I think he's going to be my favorite out of all the midfield. Tom Huddlestone, I know that he is very good at free kick taking, so only 13. And he has very poor acceleration, pace, and agility, but this is something we know, I think, perfectly well from his Tottenham and Hull time. George Thorne, 25. Let's see, George Thorne. He can play defensive midfield better than in the center, but he could be a good option if we need to defend. He has poor heading, but tackling is good, marking not so much. This is unfortunate. I would have hoped that he could be a nice defensive midfielder that could really help me freeze games when I need to. All right, so that's all for the central midfield. Let's see what happens on the left side of the field. Here we have 5 players. Craig Forsett, we know him already. Bradley Johnson, Tom Lawrence too. So let's see Ikechi Anya. Ikechi Anya, I've heard and I've seen this player play. In reality, not really impressive, and his stats are quite poor, to be honest. I may be looking for another right winger or a right midfielder if we don't have anybody better than him. Connor Dixon is only 17 and he's very poor. I'm not sure that he's going to make it at any high level of football in this save, at least, unfortunately for him. So that's it with the left midfielders. Now let's see what happens on the right side. Ayomide Jibodu and Luke Thomas are the new faces here. Ayomide Jibodu, very poor player. He has potential to become a bit better in the future. Very well suited to League One and could improve a lot. Well, how much though? Let's see. His most important stats here: first touch 9, not that bad for a 17-year-old. Passing 7, technique. Okay, so he's not really bad. He's not really bad. Although his corners, I don't think I need a player with a specifically high corner attribute. I need to have what 2 or 3 of those in my squad and one in the starting team. So that's okay. Jibodu, can we tutor him? No suggestions for tutoring, but we can go and move him to the under 18s until he develops a bit better, I guess. Luke Thomas. Luke Thomas, on the other hand, doesn't really strike me as somebody who is going to make it. He has pace and acceleration, but not much else. Determination 14, this is good, but the rest of his attributes are not really impressive, so I'm not sure if he's going to make it at Derby. That was it with the midfield. Now let's see what happens in the attacking midfielder section. First, central. Okay, let's order them ability-wise and start from the bottom. Alex Babos, 19 years old, Welsh, and he has ability to become much better than he is at the moment. I'm wondering, is he worth developing and is he worth playing in the first team? David Nugent would be a good role model for him. He's a striker usually. Let's see. Finishing 11, first touch 10, off the ball 10. Okay, very poor concentration, very poor anticipation. So I'm not sure if anybody's going to be able to tutor the mental attributes in him, so I'm not really going to spend time developing him. And saying that, Alex Babos, for now, I'll keep him in the squad for now, but most probably he's going to be dropped to the under 23s. Charles Vernam is going to the under 23s. Timmy Elsnick. So this is somebody who has a lot of potential, and I see he has pretty decent stats on loan at Swindon. I hope he plays regularly. I hope they develop him, but I'm really not sure if he's going to make it. So we're going to monitor this guy. For now, I'm going to get him out of my way. Kyle McAllister, 18 with potential as well. He has very good technical attributes. You see in the mental section, he's also not bad. His composure is lacking, but he's still only 18. The bad thing here is that he has no agility or strength or stamina, so he might get jaded somewhere around halftime. Hopefully, he'll be able to develop in the future, but for now, he's not really first team material, I would say. Let's see, Tom Huddlestone to tutor him. What is his best position? A right winger. So inside forward from the right. And how is Tom Huddlestone a good choice for that? Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, let's see if you can make him a bit calmer. Unfortunately, Tom is a very slow player. I'm not sure how they're going to match. This guy is a very quick player, on the other hand, with very poor strength and physical attributes. Tom Huddlestone is the complete opposite of that. So Kyle McAllister, I'm going to leave him for now. I see that he's the only player with the best position on the right wing, so I'm going to leave him in the first squad for now and see what happens. Matej Vidra. So he's best played as a false 9 striker. He has good stats. I think I'm going to use him. I think this is very nice. So he's a reliable goal scorer if I have ever seen one. Oh, very bad stats, but okay, we'll see how it goes. I may be wrong. David Nugent we already talked about, and we saw him. Just to quickly go and check, his finishing is okay, penalty taking is fine. Yeah, that's cool. Chris Martin is a seasoned Derby County striker. He's wanted by whom? By QPR. Okay, so if Queen's Park want him, let me see an offer and we'll talk. Otherwise, Bradley Johnson, as a midfielder we've talked about, and Tom Lawrence as a left winger we have seen already. All right, now let's see what's happening with my wingers. Left wing, Johnny Russell. Okay, Johnny Russell is wanted by Norwich, not really serious at the moment, but they may up their interest. So let's see, he's quick. He is, yeah, crossing, all right. He's very poor decisions, no leadership, but that's fine. Passing is okay, crossing is okay, and his acceleration is okay. So if we want to break on the counter, I would say Johnny Russell would be my first choice there for the left wing. Tom Lawrence, again, just to compare, actually he might be better. But he's best placed as an advanced playmaker. So we'll see, depending on the tactics. We'll see. Andy Weimann, he's a winger who can score a lot, and as you can see, his best position is as a defensive forward, according to the game. So I have a plethora of choices in the attacking positions. Kyle McAllister, let's see, Kyle McAllister, we have already talked about Kyle, so I'll leave him here. Nick Blackman, on the other hand, 28. Where is he playing? In Israel, Maccabi Tel Aviv. Very interesting. Okay, so probably, I hope, not probably, but I hope they decide to buy him at some point, because he doesn't have ability or potential to be playing for Derby County under my charge. This guy is going immediately to the under 18s. Jaden Mitchell Lawson is also going to the under 18s. And with that, I need to move on to the right wingers. Okay, right wingers, Johnny Russell, Tom Lawrence, Weimann, Ikechi, Kyle McAllister, Kellen Gordon. Kellen Gordon is on loan at Swindon. Not really impressive. So Kellen, I hope that you make the best out of your time there and you secure a transfer, because when you come back, I'm afraid you're not going to play too much here, mate. Next we have Lewis Walker, 18 with some ability. Let's see. Okay, he goes to the under 23. I agree. Tutoring, Cameron Jerome. So Cameron Jerome would be probably a nice tutor for a winger. Cameron Jerome has played a big part of his career on the wing, so that should be something that he's very familiar with. Now let's continue. Okay, Lewis Walker, we got that agreed. And now finally, let's see what happens in the striker section. Okay. All right. Ability wise, Adam Davey, 18, not really making it so far. He should have at least one gold star in his ability. I'm not really one that would develop such prospects that do not appear likely to succeed. Morgan Whitaker is also out of the question. Let's see here. Emil Jakobsen is on loan. I'm going to put him in the under 23s. Ofrandes Ansala, target man. Who is that target man? Let's see. Acceleration, okay. Pace, jumping is fine. Heading, no, okay. No, I'm sorry. I don't like target men that have poor heading. So you go down. Alex Babos, Mason Bennett. Let's see, Mason Bennett here. Mason Bennett is very quick. Poor finishing for a first team striker, of course. Crossing, same story. I know him from Burton. That's why this guy seemed familiar, Mason Bennett. I used to play with Burton a lot in the past. So let's see here. Mason Bennett, I'm going to keep him in the squad. See what happens. We have a lot of strikers. I may need to sell a few of them. Mason Bennett is wanted by Burton on loan again. He may go there. I think he has potential to develop further. So that should be something we should look at. Chris Martin, on the other hand, let's see. So ability-wise, we have Andy Weimann and Chris Martin being wanted. So I may decide to sell one of those. And I have also Andy Weimann listed. Okay, unspecified. He's on rotation. Let's see. Sheffield Wednesday want him for a transfer, and Sunderland on loan. Okay, so I may be losing Andy Weimann at some point. As a right winger, it's as his best position. This could be a difficult choice. On the other hand, Chris Martin, he's also listed already. He's transfer listed. QPR want him, Hull City want him, Sunderland want him on loan. I'm not really a big fan of sending on loan mature players, only young ones. So I don't think I'm going to agree on that. Jason Shekel starts on a coaching course. Okay, so that's fine. Now, what I want to see is the team depth chart. So this is something that I'm always interested in. So we have strikers, a lot of strikers to choose from. We don't have a lot of wingers. We do have some central midfielders, and not really impressive in the fullback section. My assistant already stressed that we might want to invest in the fullback. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to think about what is the best tactics for this team, and I'm going to move on to the transfer section. Let's see what is my budget. How much money do we have? Transfer budget 5 million. Not too bad. That's not too bad at all, I would say. What are the expectations for me? I'm not sure. So what's the board confidence? Okay, okay. In the competitions, they're satisfied so far, but I am I am second placed here by legacy. Not really sure how things are going to evolve in the future. All right, so I think that's enough for now. This is going to be episode 1 of my Derby County adventure with the Rams. Wish me luck, guys, and I will be back soon with episode 2. Until the next time, what you can do in the meantime is you can check my channel, subscribe, follow, like my videos, and if you want me to do a certain experiment, a test, you can check the type of videos that I'm making. Please make sure to comment, contact me in any way, and we'll get it arranged. Thank you for watching. Bye.